Ecco the Dolphin is a very important game to me for several reasons. For one, my sister Rebecca loves this game, and we played it a lot when we were kids. I was a little younger than her, and I thought it was really cool that she liked this strange game, so I would watch her play it quite a bit. There was a lot of mystery to this game, and it was quite hard to get the hang of. One of my strangest memories of this game is how my sister figured out the passwords to get further in the game. It never made sense to me how she did it, but she really did, and I'm still amazed that she found some kind of pattern to what I thought were just random letters at the time. Ecco the Dolphin, or just Eco, as we used to call it, is one of the first games I saw her beat, and that still impresses me to this day, because as again, this game is really hard, and actually quite long. Ecco the Dolphin was designed and programmed by Nova Trade International, and published by Sega in 1992. The game has kind of a strange inspiration, that which I won't really go into too much, but we'll talk about it a little bit, but it's not really very relevant to the actual gameplay. It is loosely inspired by the book The Mind of the Dolphin, which was written by John C. Lilly, who not only worked with dolphins, but previously in his life experimented with psychedelic drugs and apparently met some aliens that he referred to as the Earth Coincidence Control Office, or ECO. Yeah, I told you it's a weird game. Furthermore, the music in this game, composed by Spencer Nilsson, was said to have been inspired by Pink Floyd. I thought this was just going to be a cute little game about a cute little bottlenose dolphin and his adventures in the sea. Well, it is, but it's so much more. Ecco the Dolphin drops you in the ocean and allows you to freely swim around and get used to the controls. You can jump and swim and talk to other dolphins via your sonar, and this one wants to see how high you can jump. So of course you aim to oblige it, and oh my god, what in the actual ass just happened? A vortex happened, and it sucked up most of the life in the sea and your whole pod. Pod, which is family in dolphin. With absolutely no exposition or warning, what you thought was a serene dolphin simulator just became an epic quest to traverse the ocean, time and space to save your pod and the very planet you live on from some unknown evil force. The gameplay here has no comparison. No, literally, there is no other game before or after this, other than the other Eco games, to compare this to, so it is definitely original. As Ecco, you must survive some epic perils on your long quests, and at its heart, it's a puzzle adventure game. You must explore the ocean and elsewhere for the means to exit the level and proceed to the next one. Sometimes it's as simple as just getting to the end, while other times you have to move rocks, find special key glyphs, sneak past octopi, avoid sharks, and even rescue other creatures. The game is hard, and you only have one attack through the majority of it, which is your charge attack. Eventually you get a super sonar attack at almost the end of the game, which basically turns it into a shooter. But most of the time, it's best to just avoid attacks. Thankfully, you can swim faster with one of the buttons, which you will be doing quite a bit as you race to get air before you die. Yeah, that's right, you are a mammal after all, so you do need air. Ecco has two status meters, one for health and one for air. You can replenish lost health by eating fish, and you can replenish your air meter by, breathing air. So keep that in mind as you traverse the depths of the dark blue sea. Remember where you last saw an air pocket, or you will die. The gameplay, on the other hand, is truly challenging, but rewarding, and absolutely a unique experience worth having. Once you get used to the mechanics there, it's quite an engaging and enjoyable experience to be had here. The game is very unforgiving, so luckily there's a password system for each level, so you can pick up close to where you left off if you need a break. And you more than likely will. The controls are good, they make total sense. There are 3 buttons on the original Sega Genesis controller. Sonar, which if you hold it down, shows a close proximity map, which is really useful when you're trying to find air pockets or other important stuff. There's a button for charge attack, which is your main line of offense in the game, and it requires careful timing to pull off. And you may find some enemies take several hits to dispatch, and it can almost be better to just find another way, like run away! The other button accelerates Ecco's movement and acts like a run of sorts, which will definitely be a button you hold down a lot of the game, because otherwise our little dolphin buddy is pretty slow moving. The music, in a word, incredible. Some people may disagree, but I prefer the Genesis version of the OST over the Sega CD version. Both are totally different, but the Genesis is what I heard first and associate most with the game and my memories of it. It is also darker and more moody. I love the music in this game so much, and the opening theme is iconic for me of the Genesis and instantly piques my nostalgia feel straight to the core. The sound is minimal and appropriate. You are underwater after all, so aside from painful screams of your dolphin as it dies painfully, there isn't much except the occasional glyph, other animals, and rocks moving. The sound that's on hand is more than appropriate for what's happening on screen. The visual aesthetic in Ecco is of the highest quality and absolutely the most underrated on the system. This game displays an enormous environment teeming with life to its very brim, with no slowdown hardly ever. There is so much color and detail in this game, beautiful sprite work, almost unparalleled in variety and uniqueness. There are so many things things to look at in this game. Each level gets progressively more and more departed from the oceanscape you start in. From sunken ships, to prehistoric ponds, to icy worlds, to ancient Atlantean libraries, to terrifying spaceships, and to the eventual horrifying alien queen at the end. This game's graphics pushed the Genesis from an early age and really showcased to the extent of what 16-bit could look like if the right artist had the tools to do so. I cannot convey how truly impressive this game looks and all the variety in graphics and aesthetics it contains. Dig deep. There is so much to see here, and it all looks really good. In some ways, I would say that Ecco the Dolphin has the best graphics on the Sega Genesis. In conclusion, Ecco the Dolphin is a long and difficult game. Once you defeat the alien queen, you and your pod are all set free into the sea. But defeating her is quite difficult. Ecco the Dolphin is a classic and an important game that's depth and aesthetic cannot be denied, but are underappreciated due to its lack of accessibility. In short, Ecco is almost too hard for most people to enjoy, but if you can meet the challenge, you will walk away from this game feeling like you had a really special experience, unique to only it, that can't be replicated or compared to in any other game. Step up to the plate. Defend the future. I would give Ecco the Dolphin a 10 out of 10. It may be the most underrated and misunderstood game of all time, but me and my sister knew it in 1992. Hey, thank you for watching this incredibly biased review of Ecco the Dolphin. This is obviously one of my favorite games, and there's no doubt that I'm looking at it with rose-colored glasses, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please, by all means, give me a subscription. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, bye!